Hi, everyone. Welcome to Progressive Short Takes. I'm your host, Joe Firestone. Something odd happened. That is, when was it? As of October 9th, I believe. We heard from Ryan Grimm at The Intercept that, quote, the DCCC is stepping up for two left candidates while progressive groups step back. The two candidates are Kara Eastman, who's running in, I believe it's the Nebraska 2nd District. Anyway, it's the eastern part of that state. It's the city, of Omaha. And that state also carries with it, an electoral vote. And if Kara Eastman should be popular there and should win there, it would help Joe Biden actually to get, an electoral vote. I don't know why the DCCC is stepping up for two lefty candidates, but it's good, of course, that they are. But those candidates also need support from people who are progressive. These two both ran in 2018. And they came close. They came close. But there was a piece of conventional wisdom that came out of Washington in relation to the midterms. And that wisdom was that while progressive candidates could be a genuine threat in deep blue districts, where grassroots organizing and small dollars were able to propel the candidates to win through primaries, candidates with similar politics weren't able to win in swing districts. So Kara Eastman, running in Omaha, is running in a swing district. And Dana Balter, in the upstate part of New York, in Syracuse, is also running in a swing district. They won their primaries again in 2020. But when they went on to lose in 2018, corporate groups like the Third Way Crowd, says Ryan Grimm, that only through centrism lay a Democratic majority. And meanwhile, it was true in 2018 that the only victory by a progressive in a swing district was Katie Porter, who flipped a red seat in California and who looks to be ahead again, though the race is a fairly tight race. But this year, Kara Eastman and Dana Balter are back, and they won their primaries again. But it's been the DCCC that's been helping them, which is a surprise because the DCCC was, as Ryan puts it, the bane of insurgent candidates last cycle. They've stepped in to fill the void in support of these two candidates. They have planned spending of at least $2.5 million in Omaha and $2.98 million in upstate New York, in Syracuse. That's pretty good support. Now, Republican Don Bacon, at this point, by October 9th, had outspent groups supporting Kara Eastman, or outside groups supporting Don Bacon, had outspent groups supporting Kara Eastman by over 2-1, $3.18 million to $1.45 million, according to the Center for Responsive Politics. But actually, $1.45 million is a really good basis for running, especially given the kind of campaign that Kara Eastman is running, which is much more tied in with getting to the grassroots than Don Bacon's campaign is. And Kara, of course, ran the same kind of campaign and nearly won with it in 2018. So she has name recognition now. Okay, and even though she'll be outspent by these outside groups by 2-1, probably she has enough to get her message out. In Dana Balter's case, she's maintained a rough parity with her opponent, incumbent John Katko, terrible Republican. She's had 2.62 million in outside ads supporting her, whereas Katko has had 2.77 million, so they're nearly equal. But spending takes time to show up publicly, and the GOP spending was much larger at first, and Kara Eastman is facing an avalanche of money. A slew of super PACs have spent more than $5 million on the Omaha Airways to defend Bacon, who's a former Air Force brigadier general, according to a source with access to the data. But the DCCC is planning to spend at least $1.5 million on Kara's behalf, but this still leaves her at a deficit. The Progressive Congressional Campaign Committee, the PCCC, however, is stepping up for Kara Eastman. Our Revolution is also stepping up for her now. And she had, at the time the article was written, October 9th, she had a narrow lead in her race with Bacon. Now it's reported, some recent reports have said that she's beginning to open up a bigger lead over Bacon. So we can get Kara Eastman over the top. She needs to be gotten over the top. She's immediately going to join the squad. She's a Medicare for All supporter. She's a Green New Deal supporter. She's a Bernie Democrat. Bernie has endorsed her, and Our Revolution is supporting her. At this point, they have now stepped up since the article was written to support her. We have to join in to the extent we can. She can bring new voters out who could go on to cast their ballots for Joe Biden as well, to help to displace Trump in that district. It's a swing district, so it's important that Trump not get that particular district. As of October 9th, there was a lack of energy among progressives for Kara Eastman and also for Dana Balter. Indivisible was stepping up to use their peer-to-peer texting campaign to try to help her. They helped her with that in her primary. They're going to do it, again. By the way, it is the 2nd district. Kara Eastman's district is the 2nd district in that state. And it's one of those seats where increasing turnout would matter for the presidential election. Now, Justice Democrats have not invested heavily in either Eastman's race or Balter's race. It's because they're trying to spend on other races where the Democratic Party as a whole is stronger. And the Sunrise Movement is like that too. They've been absent in Omaha and Syracuse, even though those candidates are climate candidates as well. Dana Balter is definitely a green candidate. Now, she has the Working Families Party support in New York State, but the Working Families Party has not gotten involved for Kara Eastman this particular time around. The PCCC, though, is now fundraising for her. I saw that. I've gotten some emails from the PCCC to try to raise funds for her, for Kara. So that's pretty good. Okay. And they're trying to raise funds for Dana Balter as well. Okay. Bernie has not been trying to raise funds, okay, for Dana Balter. And I think what's going on there is that he wants to use the fundraising power he has for some other people who are very good. Audrey Denny in California, for example, but also specifically for people who are Medicare for All supporters. In Dana Balter's case, she's not explicitly a Medicare for All supporter. Her site hints that she might vote for Medicare for All if she had the opportunity, perhaps. She's very strong for universal coverage of some kind, okay, or other, but in her district, it's difficult to come out for Medicare for All because it's really not much of a swing district. It's really kind of a Republican district, and she's making it a swing district. It's a swing district now, but largely on the strength of her run in 2018. It was a district in upstate of New York that was but fairly Republican, I think, for some time. So there we have it. These two need support. It's important we support them to the extent, okay, that we can afford that. I note the PCCC is also supporting John Hoadley, a state representative, okay, in Michigan, who's taking on Upton, Fred Upton, who's a notorious Republican, a really terrible Republican, very bad on energy, supports of fossil fuels, okay, and things like that. So it's good the PCCC is supporting Hoadley. They're also backing three candidates in Texas, Mike Siegel and Julie Oliver, both of whom are very good. They are Bernie Democrats. And Candace Valenzuela, who is, I think, fine, okay, on green. Not so fine when it comes to Medicare for All. She's short of coming over to Medicare for All. Okay, but again, she's running in a district in Texas where that, okay, is very sensitive. So one can empathize, perhaps. But anyway, the BCCC is supporting her, as well as Pam Keith, okay, in Florida. And of course, in doing that support, they're also trying to contribute to help Joe Biden because he's close both in Florida and in Texas, okay, at this point. Okay, so if you can, step up for these candidates. They're very good candidates. Also, there's Kathy Kunkel, okay, in West Virginia. She's running as part of the West Virginia Can't Wait slate, which also includes Paula Jean Swearingen. That's important. She's a colleague and compatriot, okay, of Paula Jean Swearingen, but in her case, she's running for the House under the banner of "For the Many, Not the Few." The same slogan that was used by Jeremy Corbyn, okay, in the UK. And Kathy Kunkel is another Sunrise and Sanders priority, hoping to show that a Green New Deal can win in West Virginia. Okay, so that's it for this progressive short take. Thank you for coming. I hope you'll be able to give some support to these candidates. I'm going to stop sharing this and say goodbye for the present. I'll be back with some more progressive short takes later in the week. Thank you very much.